Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to that same
Monday morning
old
finish.
place
Wow.
that you laughed about.
I'm getting emotional here. Haven't had it in a while. Wearing my mask, but I'm going to take it off so that we can talk a little bit. Some of you may be asking, well, who is that masked man? My name's Mike Newman. I've been associated with cross country and track and field in Illinois since the fall of 1976. Actually, the fall of 1975, I ran 8th grade cross country. There were 7 guys on the team. I was 6th runner. And I did some cool things, and here I am. So it's kind of weird. The last time we talked, we were going to talk about the Mustang relays, and something happened on March 11th, and here we are. I don't know where to go with this today, because it's hard. I've tried to write about this. I tried to write about 7 things. I wrote 7 things that I was going to publish during the pandemic, and I never did. Or we're still in it, but I mean when everything was breaking, when there was no track season, I wrote the one thing about that. I could have gone on with the show. I really didn't want to. I'm not. I didn't want to get my face out. It's not worth it. I mean, if you need to get your face out, you need to do all these little things. Great. I social distanced a little bit. So here we are. At the end of July, we had a conference call, and I was asked, Illinois is going to be deciding on cross country in the next few days. What do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. And somebody on the call said, yeah, it's going to be 80-20 that Illinois shuts down. And I said, 55-45. So I was a little more optimistic. I didn't know where to think, but when all of these things started, where the other states were deciding we're going to run cross country, then I'm glad that today, August 24th, our first cross-country meets of the year. They look different. They may look different, but man, it's going to be an emotional first couple of weeks. Kids coming back running, all of these guidelines that we have to follow, wearing the mask. It's going to be a cool thing. I had one coach ask me, boy, did you enjoy your time off? Let me respond to that in this. I may not have put a lot of stuff out publicly, but I think I've worked the hardest that I have in a long, long time during this time frame. There were things that I wanted to get accomplished. You saw on athletic.net, we have every Illinois high school cross-country state meet result back to 1970. I created the all-time distance Hall of Fame with times for the 3200, 800, and 1600. I have to update it a little bit, but those are some of the things. And then there were a lot of other things. It was like 4 days after that first weekend where nothing was going on, and I didn't want to look at social media for a while, and the team that works with me, I came up with a plan. This is what we're going to do. So, didn't go to any meets. Was going to go to that meet in Chicago. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to know the story, ask me sometime at a meet, because I was ready to go. There it is. So let's talk about a number of things. Let's talk about. I wrote a preview. Yeah, I wrote 12 previews that ended up like with 115 100,000 words. I'm going to have some smart ass going back through, Newman, you had 112,432 words in your previews. What's going on here? You're over-exaggerating. No. But the thing was, when I was writing these, and I waited till the IHSA made their announcement. And then that weekend, I started sending emails out. And I didn't send them at the beginning of July because no one in their right mind is going to send them at the beginning of July. But you get more of an honest answer, a more recent answer. You've got teams, coaches that hadn't seen their runners at the beginning of July in a long time. So thank you so much to the coaches that responded back. Coaches that didn't respond back, I'm an elephant that has a long memory. I've written these previews 10, 11 years now. And this is probably the one time that I enjoyed it the most. I really enjoyed it. So, we don't know if we're going to have a state meet. We don't know if we're going to have a state series. Other things may replace it. We will wait and see. I'll let you know. The one thing that's going to happen, and I can tell you this from talking to people in the IHSA and talking to people associated with the state meet, is that they want to have a state meet. And it's just not saying that because to make everybody happy. They really want to. They're looking at different options and how can we hold a state meet in these times. But the one thing that has to happen is that the COVID-19 rates have to come down. Everybody has to get better. Those rates, we have to go up another level so that we can have inter-region competitions. And that's it. So if you're a kid, you're going to a store, you're wearing your mask in a store, and there's somebody that's not wearing a mask, and I can tell you right now in Illinois, in the area that I live in, it hasn't been a problem. There's one guy that didn't wear a mask and he got kicked out of the store, and then he got arrested because he was trying to beat up the store manager. Serve the guy right. Wear your mask. You're downstate, you see somebody that's not wearing a mask, it's not political. It's giving everybody getting better and giving you a chance to run. And I haven't talked in a while, so I'm not getting, whatever. So, no state meets, but let's talk about some of these teams real quickly here. I wrote all about them. I expressed it a little bit better if you go look at ilxctf.com. They're on Runner Space, also on my page on Runner Space. And the 1A girls, you have Leanna Sertz, defending state champion. You have Lydia Roller. And then you have a great bunch of runners behind her. Anna Perry, Julia Wolke. I'm missing one from that top 5, and I'm sorry. It's going to be, Savannah Beavers too. Great run, but there's a lot of great 1A girls runners out there. Teams, Winnebago is going to be so good. That's why I really hope there's going to be a state meet, because they deserve to go down in history as one of the best small school teams in state history. And maybe history will judge them that when we get at the end of the year and we don't have a state meet. I'm trying to be positive, being positive here. But they return everybody. Monticello has a great team. Normal, U-High, Eureka, you go on. There's some great teams there. And the 1A boys, jeez. Why I want everybody to wear their mask and why I want to be in Detweiler in November is to see Drew Rogers, Miles Shepard, and Ryder James run at Detweiler Park. Maybe not a lot of crowd there, but to see them race against each other, because these perhaps are the 3 best 1A runners. They are the best 1A runners in the state, and some of the best runners in the state, period. Class of 2022, they're going to be seniors, and everything we hope is going to be normal in a year, and we'll see them race as seniors, and that should be fun. And Monticello, hey, Monticello loses their number one runner, Luke Sokolowitz. Sokolowski. I was thinking Mike Sokolowitz from Thornton in the 70s. Oh boy. Dylan Bennett from Stanford Olympia is missing. He's not running this year. So Monticello is still the team to beat. Stanford Olympia is going to be a team to beat. And then there's Harvest Christian Academy, who's going to be tough. And they got second, missed a state championship by 6 points, and they all come back, and they're hungry. 2A, hey, I think one of the things on that Saturday when there was the announcement that Tame David was moving to Florida, and I get a call from her dad on the Monday, or an email. He's like, this entire story hasn't been told. Do you want to talk? We talked for over an hour. I wrote what I wrote. I hope you read it. But we're going to miss Tatum. I think she'll be back. I hope. Cross your fingers. Because they haven't sold their house. And she said the one regret was she hadn't broken the Detweiler Park course record. Maybe we get IMG to come up for a cross-country meet if she doesn't move back her junior or senior year. Team-wise, Bennett Academy. They return everybody. Scott Brooks Scott Brooks retired. Brooksy, thinking about you. Brooksy ran with my little brother in high school, so I've known Scotty for such a long time, and okay. You have Latin School that returns basically everybody. Those are the two teams. St. Ignatius, Fenwick has a good team this year, and that's the one thing that's really interesting. How are these guidelines going to affect these schools in Chicago? You have a good St. Ignatius team. You have a good Latin School team, and that's about it. It's and the Chicago schools will come out to the suburbs to run. Naperville Twilight is not this year, the way that it usually is. So that'll be interesting. The boys' side, yeah, this is going to be fun. Number of things on the boys' side. Anything can happen. And I forgot who I ranked number one. Oh, yeah, now I know. Duh. Brain fart there. There's three good teams, three deep teams. Chatham Glenwood has a deep team. St. Ignatius, Muhammad Seymour, all have talent coming out of the years. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting there. Individually with Brock Drazenberg of Dixon, Wilson Georges, who runs with pneumonia last year at state, gets 7th. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. Wilson, I'm going to try to get down there and watch you run this year. I'm not certain. I haven't looked at any of the schedules yet, so I'm going to try to figure out where I'm going to be going. 3A girls, too bad NXN isn't going to be around. It's Nike Cross Nationals, not the Team Cross Country Nationals. How important are we? It's the Nike Cross Nationals. That's what it's been called. It used to be the Nike Team Nationals. Name hasn't changed. But Naperville North returns everybody. They're in fantastic shape. I hope they get to race somebody this year. Yorkville is so good. Their conference is tough. That Southwest Prairie Conference is so tough with Oswego is ranked. And you have Manuka. Manuka is missing their top runner, Audrey Poles, who's injured. But Yorkville returns everybody. And then you go into Prospect, you go into Oswego. There's a lot of teams that are going to be looking for a third spot. On the boys' side, I think individually it's so wide open right now because you graduate 17 or 18 seniors in the top 25. You still have Michael Wilson from St. Charles, who is 7th. Pierce Cousins, who is 12th. Colin Hill of York. Now, he was sick at the state meet last year. He was 51st. He comes back at Nike Cross Nationals, runs 49th. His time is equivalent to running 14:27 at Detweiler. And he finished a few seconds ahead of Wilson. So I wish those 3 runners would get to race against each other. There's some other great 3A runners that are going to show themselves this year, and it's going to be fun to watch them improve. Team-wise, 3 teams: St. Charles East, New Trier with a new coach, York with a new coach now. York with a new top 7 basically. Hill's the only guy returning, but Mickey Vreeland is up there, and they have some guys that were injured last year that have stepped up. So we'll see. West Suburban Silver is going to be crazy deep as usual. New coaches. There's a bunch of new coaches. A new coach at Muhammad Seymour. I can't remember her name. Simon Thorpe takes over for his dad, Evan, at Dixon. And they're going to be just as good. They have to replace a few guys, which dropped them down a little bit in my rankings. But don't say because there's a new coach, that's why they're going to drop. You're an idiot if you say that. So that's about it. There were so many things. Look at this. This is cool. This is a book that I received, 110 Years Running on the Banks of the Red Cedar, A Social History of Michigan State University Cross Country. I've gotten 2 volumes so far. This is up to 1976. Are you kidding me? The read is fantastic. So those of you that went to Michigan State, get it? I've read it. I'm waiting for the last 2 volumes. I can't wait to read it. It is so good. I'm just going to swear there. What other things too? My stopwatch. I looked at the stopwatch. I was going to time how long I was talking. How long have I been talking? Ooh. But I reset my stopwatch. The last time I used that stopwatch was at Mustang Relays. It's kind of funny. Like, I'm going to reset it. Battery's still fine. I never reset it. What else? I can't wait to see you guys out on the course. We're going to social distance, right? But I can't wait. There are so many opportunities. There aren't the big invitationals. And I don't want to see, today we would have been racing at Hinsdale. I saw that a lot in track, and it made me sick. It's okay to miss what might have been, but rejoice and embrace what we have and what we can do. I don't know if that's whatever. There will be a lot of things going on. I'll have videos like usual this fall. They're not going to be at the Peoria meets. I hope it's a state meet. I hope I catch some conference meets. I'm going to try to. It will be interesting, to say the least. There's one more thing too. You know, I think I've watched The West Wing for the 18th time now, the entire series. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are buzzing through my head, like low-flying planes right now. But the live sports, it was golf, and it was NASCAR. I really have gotten hooked with F1 and Formula One, Lewis Hamilton. So when I was writing one morning, you know you have a creative mind when you come up with the weirdest, demented things. So this is the weird, demented thing I came from F1. So I love watching it because they talk, and then they do it in NASCAR too. But you can hear the pit talking to the driver. Driver's getting pissed off. He's like, I need to change my tires and all of that. Don't worry about it. Your tires are in good shape right now. Yeah. Your tires are in good shape right now. Don't sweat about it. And so that was funny. You're waiting for that. I'm like, come on, come on. The driver's getting pissed off. Come on. You're doing a good job. You keep it going. You're in fifth place by 20 seconds. So, with the social distancing, should we put an earpiece in everybody's runner's ear and you can yell at your runners from 6 feet away? I can't imagine having it when I was running. You guys know who my coach was, Mr. Newton and all of that. So if he had the little microphone and the little thing in the ear, it would have been, you're killing us, with the British accent. Imagine Mr. Newton with the British accent. You're killing us, Nims. If you don't pass this guy, we lose by 1 point. That would have been more enjoyable. Instead of going, you're killing us, if you don't pass this guy, we lose by 1 point. And the guy that's running next to you is like, oh cool, we're going to beat York. And that kind of drives you to do great things. Nobody ever passed me when he yelled at me like that. So there will be a lot to talk about. Right now, we're not going to do any rankings for this fall. If the state announced we're going to have a state series, then yes, I will. But it doesn't make sense. It is, being a statistician, trying to rank through dual meets is extremely tough. I'll have to show you what I came up with preseason all the way down, but that's the way it is. So I'm going to stop. I got 5 months of Monday morning finish line out of me. And we'll talk next week. We'll talk about some races. We'll talk about some neat stuff. And we'll have fun. Just have fun. Race. Run with your teammates. Have fun. Enjoy crossing the finish line. And again, and socially fist bumping and all that. And hope maybe I'll be there to catch that. I don't know. So. Can't get out over my ear. So until the next time we talk, it's Monday. It's Mike Newman, Monday morning finish line. We'll talk soon. I promise. Bye.